Hello, welcome to Digital Transformation, Baby Steps for Big Wins. My name is Barka. I'm the CTO of SilverTech, as well as a Progress Sitefinity MVP. Before we get started, a little bit of background on SilverTech. We are a digital marketing and technology agency headquartered in Manchester, New Hampshire, with a second office in Indianapolis, Indiana. We do everything from SEO, SCM, paid media, and campaign support through website design development, custom application development, as well as integrations. Really, though, our niche is kind of combining all these disciplines to create top-notch digital experiences across multiple touch points for our customers and their customers. Before we get started, let's rewind back to 2007. In 2007, 13, 14 years ago, the iPhone was actually introduced. And if you think back in 2007, high schoolers back then are today in their late 20s and early 30s, and they're starting families, they're buying houses, they're buying cars, maybe starting companies or moving on up in their respective organizations. And these folks today are a lot of our target customers. And we have to understand that they've had this device in their hand their entire professional lives. And what that's done is really change their expectations around interacting with organizations, interacting with brands, and customer experience in general. And if you think about the brands that really understand customer experience, if you think about top-notch customer experiences, you usually think about brands like Amazon and Netflix, Spotify, Uber. These are the brands that are thriving today because they understand customer expectations. They can make that emotional connection to their customers because they provide a great experience, and they personalize it as well. And that's really where all of us need to be, is kind of matching customer experiences with these existing brands. Fast forward today, in the past year or two, we had obviously this pandemic, which has really only fast forwarded the customer expectations. So everyone's been interacting with different companies digitally exclusively for the last 2 years. And it's really, again, only furthered their expectations when it comes to digital experiences. And again, the brands that got that and were able to adapt quickly to that new world are the ones that have continued to be successful. And a lot of times, I understand when I talk to existing customers about this, the first thing they say is, well, I'm not Amazon, I'm not Uber, I'm not Netflix, I don't have the budgets of those folks, and I'm not even that same type of business. But my argument to that, my counter argument to that is always, okay, I understand you're not Amazon, I understand you're not Netflix, and your business is obviously different. However, your customers are customers of Netflix, and they use Spotify, and they use Amazon, and their best experience somewhere is now their expectation everywhere. And if you're not meeting that expectation, then you're probably falling short. And when someone does meet that expectation, they're going to move on into that new company and kind of leave you behind. So, how do we get there? How do we talk about digital transformation? How do we implement this? Before we kind of take that step forward, I'd like to kind of define what digital transformation is, because I think it means a lot of different things to different people, and different companies, whether they be research companies like Forrester and Gartner, or platform companies like Salesforce, all define digital transformation differently. And it's usually focused around technology and experiences and things like that. But I like the way that Jeff Bezos looks at it. And he's really focused not on technology, but on the customer. And he says, you want to be customer obsessed, not competitor obsessed. Customers are always dissatisfied. They always want more. And if you're competitor obsessed and you're a leader, you kind of see everyone behind you. However, if you're focused on your customers always want more, and they're going to pull you along. And that's kind of how we at SilverTech look at digital transformation. It's really a fundamental change in how an organization leverages not just technology, but people and processes to deliver value to their customers and drive business performance. It's really about that value to the customer, that customer experience, and then if you focus on that, the business will come along as well. I also like how Forrester kind of breaks it down. They have 4 rules for digital transformers that they think you should follow. And the first is obvious. It's digital experiences. Deliver easy, effective, and emotional customer experiences, which I think we all understand. That's why we're here talking about this. That's why you're in this webinar. is we know we need to focus on digital experiences as part of our digital transformation. The second one is digital operations. Focus operations on things customers value. And I think this one's a little different in that I think a lot of times when we think about digital transformation and operations, a lot of times we think internally. We think about, how can I leverage technology to make my supply chain more efficient and increase my profit margins? Or how do I use technology to automate certain things to make it go faster and again, increase margins? We think internally, we think efficiency when we think about operations and technology. But what Forrester's saying, no, forget that. Let's focus on customer experience. Focus your operations on things customers value, and that's going to pay dividends back. The third rule is digital innovation. Innovate at that intersection of experience and operations. So now we're kind of combining the first two. We have digital experiences we want to focus on, operations that customers value. Where those two things kind of collide and intercede, that's where we're going to focus our innovation, because that's where we're going to get the most bang for our buck. And when I think about this one, I think about kind of the best example when it comes to kind of business disruption in my viewpoint, when it comes to like an industry completely disrupted, and that's Netflix. And not Netflix of today, of 2021, but Netflix of 2000 when it first started. When Netflix set out, they didn't set out to be a technology company per se. They didn't set out to be the world's largest streaming company or provider of content. It was actually much simpler than that. They looked at a pretty archaic or simple industry, which was the DVD rental business, and said, we can do better. Let's look at that intersection of operations and experiences, and can we innovate right there? And typically back then, if I nostalgically look back and, watching a movie was, me and my wife or my girlfriend would go to up the Blockbuster, and we'd walk around, pick out a DVD. The one we wanted, probably wasn't there because we were too late. But we'd pick out a DVD, maybe last week's new release, pay our $5, go home, watch it, and then forget to return it the next day and the next day, and I'd return it, on Monday, and it'd be 2 days late, and next thing you know, it cost me $15 to watch that one movie. Netflix kind of looked at that and said, I think we can do better. What if we charge people a flat fee, $7.99 a month, and at any point in time, they can have up to 3 DVDs. They go online, they browse our catalog, they add the movies they want to the backlog, they send a new one back, we send them a new movie, and they're always happy. And that simple idea that didn't really involve technology is what disrupted an entire industry and set Netflix apart. They really focused their innovation at that intersection of experience and operations and really executed there. The fourth rule is digital ecosystems. Build platforms and partnerships to accelerate and scale. And what this really means is that you can't, in order to provide optimal customer experiences today and moving forward, you have to invest in platforms and partners that allow you to be fast and agile. Because customers' experiences, expectations change dramatically quickly, as we've seen over the last 2 years. And the companies that were stuck on old technology platforms probably couldn't innovate as quickly as companies that were platformed on newer technologies and had partners in place that could help them execute. So really, all 4 of these things are important, but you need those partners and platforms kind of to help you get through this. Next up is a roadmap. Obviously, we've talked about a lot of things here: digital transformation, the 4 rules to get there. The problem that we hear a lot of times is people, they're stalled. They don't know where to start. They don't have the budgets to do what they want to do. They don't know where to go. So what we recommend in that case really is, let's put together a very high-level 3-year roadmap. And we know this is going to change. Things change a lot over the course of 1, 2, especially 3 years. But at least if we pick where we want to be in 3 years and then implement a crawl, walk, run approach, at least we know we're going in the right direction. As we crawl, we're heading towards that North Star we want. As we walk, we're headed towards that North Star we walk. Yes, that North Star might move a little bit, but at least we're walking and running and crawling in the direction that we want to go in. As things change, great, we're going in the right direction. But at least we have our destination. And then from there, like I said, we implement a crawl, walk, run approach. You can't bite all of this off in 1 year. Well, at least most organizations can't bite it off in 1 year. So at least let's get a roadmap in place, and then we'll kind of crawl, walk, run our way to the end of that roadmap. And a lot of times when I'm thinking about digital experiences and digital transformation, that first crawling phase is what we call a modern relevant phase. If you don't have modern and relevant experiences, you kind of haven't earned the right to get to those next steps. You got to start somewhere, and that's that crawl phase of modern and relevant. And when I think about this, I think about a story that one of our designers, Dan, likes to tell when it comes to designing modern and relevant experiences. And he talks about a kitchen. If you think about a kitchen, if you think about your house as kind of a brand or your organization, the kitchen is kind of the face of that, much like your website might be the face of your organization. And if you look at this particular kitchen, it's a functional kitchen. It has cabinets. It has to store your food. It has a refrigerator to keep your food cold. It has a stove to cook your food. It has some seats to sit around and kind of enjoy company with, some counter space to talk to people and things like that. It's a functional at a bare bones level. It's a functional kitchen. However, if you look at that same kitchen with a dramatic facelift, the first thing you see is obviously it's more aesthetically pleasing. However, it's fundamentally more useful from your goal standpoint. This kitchen was designed with an end goal in mind, and that end goal might be entertaining. It might be having open conversations with your family. I could sit, my kids could sit at the breakfast bar and have breakfast while I'm making their lunches, and we could have conversations. My wife could sit at the bar and have a glass of wine while I'm cooking dinner. We could have friends over, we can entertain. This kitchen was designed with those things in mind, which makes it more functional and goal achieving for what we wanted to do. Your website is no different. Here's a website from the state of New Hampshire. It's a functional website. It has menus you can click on. It has links. I can search and find information. It's functional at a bare bones level, but from a modern level, from a goal achieving level, it's probably not functional. It probably isn't ADA compliant. It probably doesn't work well on mobile devices. The information architecture is probably old, outdated, and overdone. There's probably too much content there now, and people can't find what they want. So again, when we think about modern and relevant experiences, it's really out with that kind of hard to use, disorganized website or experience that is probably unreliable and really a liability to your organization and your brand. It's more moving over to those newer, not just better looking and more cohesive experiences, but the ones that are accessible to everyone, the ones that are more usable, and most importantly, goal achieving. What are your goals for this experience or for this website for your organization? And when you think about most website goals, it's usually a marketing tool, and marketers shouldn't have to be focused on managing the website. Marketers should be focused on the business. How do I drive leads? How do I bring leads in? How do I fill my funnel? I shouldn't have to think about the website. I really need my website built on a modern content management system or digital experience platform, much like, in this case, Progress Sitefinity, where I can quickly and easily spin up campaign landing pages and really focus my attention on the strategy. How do I drive leads to these pages to get conversions and things like that? Speaking of conversions, if that's what I'm driving for, if that's my goal, I need a way to measure that. And again, that's where a system comes in place where I can log in. And this happens to be SilverTech's Sitefinity Insights dashboard. This is our actual data. And I can quickly see here that I've had 79 conversions in the last 30 days, which is actually up significantly, 46%. However, I can see that my conversion rate is down. So I can quickly look at this and say, okay, my conversions are up, but my rate is down. So that tells me I'm actually driving more traffic to the website, but I'm converting it at a lower rate. So I can go back and look, okay, what changes did I make in my campaigns to get people here, and in my landing pages to convert them, and kind of touch on what I can do to improve both of those to kind of keep them both up. I can also look at my attribution touch points, which pages on my site, which touch points are actually converting people at higher rates, and really look at if my website is that marketing engine that's used to create conversions. This is how I can use to measure those goals and make sure that they're actually doing well. Once I've done that, I kind of earn the right to become engaging and frictionless, and that's kind of the walk section of most of our engagements is modern and relevant. Now let's be engaging and frictionless on our digital transformation journey. And when I think about engaging and frictionless, I think about a story from last year. My daughter is a soccer player. She was a freshman last year, made the soccer team. I remember going to one of her games after school. The game had just started. I was walking up, and I noticed as I was walking up there was a bandage on her leg, and I was a little concerned. She was fine when she left that morning. Did something happen at school? Did something happen in warm-ups? And as I watched the game and the play came close to me, I realized what it was that she actually had one white sock and one black sock, and she needed two white socks. So she put the black sock on, wrapped it in a white bandage, and now she had, two white socks. I was a little embarrassed, but both, proud of her ingenuity, I guess. But I did what most people would probably do. I picked up my phone, I opened up my Amazon app, I searched for white Nike soccer socks, and I ordered 4 pairs of socks, and they were probably delivered the next day. That's an engaging and frictionless experience, because I had a need, and I was able to execute on that need in less than 30 seconds, and nothing really stopped me from doing that, which is nice. That's a good experience I had with Amazon, and it's an experience we all have. It's why Amazon's so good at what they do. It's why we keep going back. Even if maybe we don't want to, maybe we want to buy from a local person, but Amazon just makes it so easy and frictionless to work with them that we just keep going back. On the flip side of that experience, this actually happened to me last week. I happened to be sitting in my truck. I was waiting for my son to come out. I was going to get him right to school, but my morning was getting started, so I was just kind of scrolling through my emails as I was waiting for him, and I came across this headline: "Get away to Greece for less this summer." And honestly, I have no intention of going to Greece this summer. We'd love to take a family trip to Europe at some point, but it wouldn't be this summer, and I'm not sure if it's Greece. But anyways, the headline got me. It pulled me in a little bit. So I click on the email, I open it up, and now I'm really intrigued, because I see these blue waters, I see that beautiful architecture, and I'm interested. So they hooked me. It was great marketing. The subject line got me, the pictures got me, the call to action got me. I click book now. I ended up on this landing page that you see here, and again, at first glance, good job. It's personalized based upon the campaign I clicked on, save on Greek summer getaways. And I started to fill out the form to get the pricing and see how expensive it was going to be, out of curiosity, really. So I clicked on origin, found Boston Logan Airport. Looking back, a more frictionless experience would have been them filling in Boston Logan for me. Obviously, they emailed me. They know when I fly Air Canada, I fly out of Boston. They could have easily filled that in for a better experience for me. But more importantly, when I clicked on destination, there was nothing in the drop-down. And to be honest, I've never been to Greece. I've never flown there. So I didn't know where airports were in Greece. I tried typing in Greece. Nothing came up. I tried to think of some other locations, couldn't think of any. So I ended up abandoning this page. So this marketer went through all this trouble, came up with a great subject line, came up with a great calls to action, great imagery, got me to the landing page, but because they hadn't really thought through that full experience of what it would be for an optimal, engaging, and frictionless experience, they lost me. And to be honest, in fairness, I might be more critical, because this is what I do, but I'd really like to know. I'd like to call Air Canada and ask them, what is your click-through rate on the email, and then what's your conversion rate on the page? Because I bet it drops off a lot, just because they didn't think through that landing page and what customer expectations would be around that. So kind of getting back to kind of the websites and what you can do. Here's again that State of New Hampshire website. State of New Hampshire is a client of ours. We do a lot of work with them, and we're actually in the process of moving them to a new content management system. This particular site is a hard-coded HTML site. You need a developer to change the content on it, and it wasn't ready to be moved over yet. Unfortunately, what happened was the pandemic hit, and obviously the New Hampshire Employment Security became a huge bottleneck. People lost their jobs. They were going to the website looking for help. They were looking to figure out how to file unemployment benefits. Businesses were going to the website to learn about what services the state offered them, and they couldn't find any information they needed, and the state couldn't execute fast enough to get the website updated, and it really became a problem for the state of New Hampshire. While we couldn't fix that website, what we could do was spin up micro pages very, very quickly on an actual content management system. And of course, these pages, they're not the most beautiful thing, but they were functional and goal achieving. People could come here, we could spin them up quickly in the course of a night, essentially. We spun these pages up, and people could quickly and easily find the information they wanted, get them on their way, and then we were able to actually add a chatbot as well, which We had some simple FAQs, questions and answers, and even if it only answered maybe 5 to 10% of people's questions, that's 5 to 10% of people that aren't as frustrated as they were before. That's 5 to 10% of people that aren't calling the phone lines and tying up the phone. So it's really about what can you do. Again, it goes back to that platforms and partners. So you have the platforms in place, you have the partners in place to respond quickly to changing customer expectations. And that's really what this is about when it comes to digital transformation. The next piece is, so you're crawling if you've got that modern and relevant experience. You're walking if you can provide engaging and frictionless experience. Once you've kind of done those, now you've kind of earned the right to be that personalized and predictive experience. And I think when all of us think about personalized and predictive experiences, we think about Amazon. We've all gotten the emails with product recommendations. We've all opened up the app and have gotten product recommendations that we ended up buying. We didn't know we needed that, but we bought it anyways because Amazon recommended it and it was something we actually wanted. So much so that over a third of all Amazon purchases are actually based on their product recommendations. The same can be said of Netflix. Over 75% of content consumed is from the Netflix recommendation engine. Again, either in-app, an email telling you about a new series that's out. 75% of content consumed is based upon those product recommendations. And that's why people have such an emotional and positive connection to Netflix. There's a reason it's not, Xfinity and chill or HBO and chill or Times Warner and chill. No, it's Netflix and chill for a reason because people have that emotional connection to Netflix. Netflix is their de facto standard when it comes to streaming movies and TV shows and things like that because of the personal recommendations and the ease of use that is Netflix. And again, a lot of times when I talk to customers, like, okay, but I'm not Netflix, I'm not Amazon. What does this really mean to me? And it can mean a lot of different things based upon what your organization is. Think of something simple like a utility company. A lot of times the utility company, it might be a monopoly and you can't really do anything about it, but doesn't mean that company shouldn't be creating emotional connections to their customers. So imagine I come to the site to pay my bill or log into my account, and the company knows that I'm either interested in electric vehicles because I've been looking around for them, or maybe I already own one and they can see that in my power usage. Why not provide that call to action to learn more about the electric vehicle smart charging program? On the flip side, if I'm a property manager, I have multiple accounts, I own multiple houses, you know that about me. Why can't you provide a call to action to make me aware of functionality that you have to make managing all those properties a lot easier? That simple personalization you can do to, again, provide that emotional connection to your end users, regardless of your industry. Same can be said for a bank. The bank knows if I'm looking for an auto loan. Maybe I've been clicking on campaign ads. Maybe I've been looking at auto loan rates. Maybe I've been looking at autotrader.com on online. There's lots of different ways a bank might know I'm looking for an auto loan, but when I am looking for it and I come to log into online banking, show me that ad for your low rate. On the flip side, a bank also knows if I'm an avid traveler. They have all my debit card transactions. They know where I'm using the card. They know if I'm buying tickets on Southwest. They know if I'm renting hotels. They know if I'm buying cruises. It's very easy for them to know that I'm an avid traveler, so why not make that recommendation to your travel rewards credit card? These are easy, simple things that a bank or other organization do, again, to A, push your products, and B, create that emotional connection to your customer through your digital experiences. And there's a number of different ways to do this. It all really starts with data. You need data to drive these things, and there's a couple different types of data. The first is something called first-party data, and first-party data is the data you have on your customers. If you're Amazon, you have all the transactions. If you're a utility, you have all the power usage. If you're a bank, you have tons of information of your bank. That's first-party data that you could use to personalize experiences. Second type of data is called second-party data, and second-party data is someone else's first-party data. And it's data that you can buy about people, should you choose to. The last one, and probably the most common, is something called third-party data. And this is really, when you think about the creepy marketing, that's the third-party data. You're having a conversation with your friends about a new type of wine, and next thing you know, you're on Instagram getting ads for that wine. Your phone it's not actually listening to you, I promise. However, what it does know is where you are and who you're with, and knows what those people like. So maybe your friend had bought that wine online, and then your phones noticed you're together, and they made that connection, and then decided to serve you up that data. Third-party data is taking data it knows about kind of everybody, putting people into segments, and then selling that segment information out to people to use for personalization. That's what third-party data happens to be. And then once you have this data, this is where kind of your digital experience platform and your personalization engine come in. Again, so maybe going with the progress side of things, I might have Progress Sitefinity as my CMS. I have Sitefinity Insights as my personalization engine. The personalization engine is grabbing behavioral data at all times. Did someone open an email? What are they looking at on the website? It's grabbing all that behavioral data. And then to supplement that behavioral data, I can push in, again, my first-party data, or whatever data I have on people into that engine to, again, create segments that can be used by that DXP to provide those personalized offers to the audience. And again, if you're using a system to do this, it makes it a lot easier. This happens to be one of SilverTech's personas. We're a digital marketing agency. One of our target customers is obviously digital marketers. We want to help them do their marketing. So it's a persona we have. This happens to be a view of our Sitefinity Insights. You can kind of see those rules on the bottom there. And what that essentially does is, once someone hits 50 points, they fall into that persona, and then we can personalize to them based upon that persona. So if they were to go to one of our digital marketing landing pages, that means they clicked on either a paid media ad or a Google ad. If they did that, we have a pretty good idea they're in there. We'll give them the 50 points and push them into the persona. On the flip side, if they went to our services page or maybe read one of our case studies about digital marketing, we'll give them partial points. And once they did a couple of those things, they would get pushed into that persona, and then we can start to personalize on them. From there, again, if you built your website correctly on a digital experience platform, you can then take those personas quickly and easily, click on your hero image, click personalize for digital marketing Morgan, and then change the hero banner and the call to action right within your DXP. You don't need developers. You don't need data scientists. You can do that all as a marketer. Again, if you've invested in those partnerships and platforms that would be required to make things like this happen. So just to recap, we talked about a lot today. Only had 30 minutes, so I kind of squeezed it in pretty fast. But digital transformation is really, when you think about digital transformation, it's about customers. It's not about technology. It's not about tech for tech's sake. It's about looking at your customers, understanding who they are, what their customer experience expectations are, and then leveraging technology and strategy and data to provide the optimal experiences to them. And again, you really can't do it all at once. You really have to take this off, and again, in bite-sized chunks. You want to crawl, and then you want to walk, and then you want to run. And then from there, you can get into artificial intelligence, and you can really start flying. But again, I apologize for going so fast. Only had 30 minutes. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Reach out. My email address is right there, derek@silvertech.com. If you want to know more information about this particular process, we have a personalization white paper at silvertech.com/personalization-white paper. But thank you for coming. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.